Most investors spend their time looking for deals. The truly successful ones spend their time building systems that bring the deals to them. That sounds like a small distinction, but after more than 2,000 transactions, I've become convinced it's one of the most important lessons in this business. Today, I'm going to explain the difference between deal hunting and deal flow. I'm going to share a mistake that set me back several years and tell you about a brand new book I've just completed that pulls all of these ideas together and how you can get your own copy. Today on Flipping America.
It's time for Flipping America, the show that helps you understand how real estate investors think, analyze opportunities, and build wealth through real estate. Your host, Roger Blankenship, has participated in more than 2,000 real estate transactions and has spent over 2 decades investing, renovating, managing, and teaching others how to succeed in real estate. And now, here's your host, Roger Blankenship.
A few years ago, I wrote a book called Fantastic Deals and Where to Find Them. The book did pretty well. It still sells on Amazon, and the reviews have been excellent. What's interesting is that every review on the site, and they're all 5-star, has come from someone I didn't know. And that's a little bit gratifying. Now, recently I decided to update the book. Not just update it, but rewrite it. It's gotten a little dated, and besides that, my understanding of this business has evolved. When I first started investing, I thought success meant finding a deal, and that was my entire focus, finding the next deal. But as time went along, I realized that it's all about building a pipeline. I learned how to buy foreclosures at the auction, and I got pretty good at it. And for a while, that was essentially my business model. But then the hedge funds arrived. Suddenly, I wasn't competing against local investors anymore. I was competing against organizations with literally billions of dollars of capital. They could pay more than I did, and anytime they were interested in a house that I was interested in, they would win the deal because they would pay more. And that forced me to learn something pretty important. If your entire business depends on one source of opportunities, you really don't have much of a business. You have one tactic. The investors who survive market shifts are the ones who build systems. And that's a part of the thinking behind the entire deal pipeline. It's a system for having deals come to me. Imagine a large industrial pipeline. Instead of only having one source feed it, you have multiple inputs. And for real estate, it can be friends and family, networking groups, wholesalers, bird dogs, real estate professionals, technology, and I'm going to talk about technology a little bit today, investor groups, acquisition networks, and each one contributes opportunities. Sometimes one is flowing and another one is not. You never can really tell, but that's why it's good to have a bunch of sources. Together, the flow can change your life. For a while, I had between 10 and 15,000 opportunities coming into my inbox every week. Did I look at them all? No way. But I looked at enough that I could make offers on several to buy a few. And now, this single idea is probably worth you taking the time to listen to the whole episode. Opportunities are abundant, and you can become selective. You don't have to try to make a deal fit ever again. Just wait a few minutes, another one will come along, and it'll be one that works. You don't have to stretch the numbers, you don't have to ignore risk, you don't have to convince yourself that the repairs aren't going to be that bad or try to talk yourself into the neighborhoods improving. In other words, you can actually negotiate with reality. A healthy pipeline eliminates that temptation because another opportunity is already on the way. Quick word about our sponsors for today. PropStream is out there. PropStream, if you're serious about real estate investing, then accurate data matters. PropStream helps investors identify properties, research ownership, build marketing lists, analyze neighborhoods, and find opportunities before the rest of the market notices them. I've used tools like this, and I used PropStream for many years. If you're trying to build a pipeline, instead of simply waiting for opportunities to appear, data is a critical part of your success. The new product has a dialer built in. We didn't have that when I was using it all the time. And everything that you need is right in one package. You don't have to stack tech upon step. Just check it out. You can click on or scan the QR code that you see right there, or you just go to flippingamerica.net if you're listening and not watching this. Go to flippingamerica.net and it's flippingamerica.net/PropStream. There you go, Raj. I'll get it right in a minute. The other sponsor I want to tell you about is RE Simply. Speaking of systems, They're one of the challenges investors face is keeping track of leads once they've been arriving. And RE Simply is a master at this. They have a CRM built in to help you organize the leads, automate your follow-up, manage marketing campaigns, and keep opportunities from slipping through the cracks. Remember, a lead is only valuable if you actually follow up. And you can check them out at flippingamerica.net/RE Simply. You don't need both of these, okay? Little secret. I love both of them. I love the people involved. I've had a good time talking with them. But one is going to suit you a little bit better than the other one. And you just need one of these. But you do need one of these. All right. Back to the topic. One of the things I discovered while putting together this new book is that it's something that most investors already know, how to start building a pipeline. Your first source is family and friends. Not because they'll sell you houses, because they know people who need to sell. And then there are networking groups. One of the biggest mistakes new investors make is attending a meeting and sitting quietly in the back and just kind of observing. You don't need to attend every meeting in town, but when you go, you need to speak up. Most of these meetings have a little sharing time. They call it a needs and wants. And now I want you to become a presence, not just a spectator, okay? I want you to be someone that they will remember. And I outline a whole strategy for this in the book. Next, think about bird dogs. Bird dogs are simply people who keep their eyes open and point you toward opportunities. I've had struggling musicians, Uber drivers, mail carriers, and a surprising variety of people who can just serve as bird dogs. They keep their eyes open. They look for things that you may not see. They go to areas that you may not visit, but they see the opportunities, and you can pay them for pointing you in the right direction. If you're not a licensed real estate agent, that's a whole different matter. Then there are wholesalers. Wholesalers are one of my favorite pipeline sources because once you're on enough buyers list, opportunities begin arriving in your inbox every week. They're not all good, but sooner or later, you can sort through them and you can find a diamond in the rough. And there is a specific strategy for building your network with wholesalers. I'm going to give you one right now. How about this? You've seen the bandit signs stuck on telephone poles around the neighborhood, around in your town, right? We buy houses and so forth. Even if you don't have a house to sell, you know that's a wholesaler. 9 times out of 10, that's not somebody who's going to buy it and fix it. That's somebody who's going to buy it and then try to peddle the contract. So call the number and just tell them who you are and you want to be put on their buyers list. They're happy to do that. They want buyers, they need buyers, and they'll be happy to take your call. All right? So I've got a chapter in the book called Build a Network of Professional Observers. And this is something that a lot of people don't think about. And honestly, I didn't figure this out because I was so smart. I just kind of slid into it one day. There was an attorney, I don't want to call him an attorney friend because he wasn't a friend. He was kind of a jerk, actually. And he screwed up big time with a foreclosure auction because he was not just a jerk, he was kind of a screw up too. He messed up. He did something wrong. I don't want to go into the details of it, but I covered for him at the courthouse auction, at the live auction. I sort of helped him out and he appreciated that. And he said, I deal with people who are in probate and other situations like divorces where they need to get rid of a house. I'm going to remember that you did me this favor and I'm going to send you referrals. Well, since he's a jerk, he never did. But it gave me an idea. And so whenever I had the opportunity to befriend other attorneys along the way, I would just give them my card. They can't give you their client information. You don't even ask. But they can mention you to the clients and give you the contact. And I have gotten some calls and even a few deals this way, not just with attorneys, real estate agents, plumbers, inspectors, electricians, and I mentioned letter carriers. But what about delivery drivers? The Amazon truck people and DoorDash people. All of those people could be looking for deals for you out there. They see things, they hear things, they notice that houses are vacant and abandoned or falling into disrepair. And a lot of times they know about opportunities a long time before anyone else. Now, I've been talking about investors and finding leads, but the principles of finding leads and building a pipeline also applies to real estate agents as well. And I know that a good number, maybe half or more of the people that listen to the Flipping America show are licensed agents. And I thank you for that and welcome you here. And I'm glad you're listening. So I've got a couple resources for you. One of them is RedX. Now, there are a lot of lead gen sources for agents and thankfully, I'm friends with almost all of them and have an affiliate relationship with all of them. But RedX has done something a little special. They've come out of the box firing. Now they've been around for a number of years now, but they have some pretty innovative products. And if you're serious about prospecting and connecting with property owners, you probably ought to take a look at them. If you're an agent, you can look for expired listings, FSBO opportunities, direct prospecting capabilities. RedX can do all of this, and it has a built-in dialer. So it can do the dialing and start the conversation. And as you know, if you're an agent, conversations create the opportunities. You can go to flippingamerica.net/RedX and find out all about it. One of the final chapters in my book is called Abundance Creates Selectivity. And if you remember nothing else from today's episode, remember that. Abundance creates selectivity. The purpose of a pipeline is not to buy every property that comes along. The purpose of a pipeline is to have enough choices so that you can get picky. You don't need every deal. You just need the right deals. And the more opportunities you see, the easier it is to identify and select the best ones. That mindset shift alone has probably made me more money than any negotiation technique I've ever learned. You just simply have so many to look at that you can pick the best of the best. All right, another one of my big friends for you agents out there is Vulcan 7. Just want to mention them real quick. Vulcan 7 has become one of the premier prospecting platforms for real estate professionals. Now, I understand they're a direct competitor with RedX, and I'm friends with both. And again, you don't need both of these, you just need one of them, but you do need one of them. If you're building a pipeline, conversations matter, and Vulcan X can also help you. Flippingamerica.net, Vulcan 7. I said Vulcan X, didn't I? Vulcan 7. Go to flippingamerica.net/Vulcan 7. And please don't tell the people over there that I called them Vulcan X. All right. Over the past several weeks, I've completely rewritten the book, Fantastic Deals and Where to Find Them. I didn't really intend to set out to make a complete rewrite, but I started pulling one thing together and then another one. And the more I got into it, the more I realized, this is not just an update. It's a total overhaul. And now instead of talking about fantastic deals, well, the Fantastic Beasts movie was popular when I published that book, but it hasn't been around for a while. So we're just going to talk about building the pipeline. And we've got some great graphics in the book to show you how the whole thing works. And the truth is, when you understand the lead graphic for the pipeline, you understand the entire real estate investing business. It's kind of remarkable, and I got it all on one page. You'll see it if you get the book. Now, the manuscript is finished, and before I publish it, I'd like feedback from readers and listeners. For a limited time, really just for a few days, I'm offering to anyone who will write in a free advance copy in PDF format. I'll just send it to you for free. There's no strings, no catch. I'm not going to put you into some marketing funnel and try to sell you a bunch of stuff. All I'm going to ask you to do is go to the site, and I'll give you the link, and leave an honest review of the book. So, if you happen to like it, I can put your positive comments in our marketing when we publish the book. All right? So it's free. All you have to do is write in and say, I want the pipeline book. You could probably read it in an afternoon. It's not a long book. It's 15 short chapters. Okay, maybe you want to take it in 2 afternoons, but I promise you, you will have everything that you need to really get your pipeline jazzed up and start building leads. There you have it. Just leave me an honest review. No charge, no gimmicks, no shipping fee, no money changes hands here at all. Just ask me for it in an email. I'll email you back and send you the PDF and a link to the review site. And you're on your honor. All right, I'm not going to be following up later on. I don't have time. I'm just trusting that you'll go and leave a review later on, okay? So build a system that consistently brings opportunities to you and you're in business. And like I always say, keep your eyes open. Opportunities are everywhere.
You've been listening to Flipping America with Roger Blankenship. For more resources, free investing tips, and information about today's show, visit flippingamerica.net. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform and share the show with a friend. Until next time, keep your eyes open. Opportunities are everywhere. This is Flipping America.